I'm Ted Koppel. Coming up, how much is true, how much is theater? The nightmare scenario.
One of the recurring nightmares in my life centers on this whole backyard barbecue.
Well, what's your question? Is there a point?
Would you remember that? When did this whole backyard barbecue fiasco start?
I think it was 1994. I think what happened was... Yeah, I don't have the exact date because it just sort of started by accident. You remember, you used to do a show with Janine Coyle.
Oh, come on. Yes, I do remember.
It was the two of you on Saturdays in the afternoon.
Yeah, I remember also a mafioso guy pulling out my toenails one by one.
So I had a show that started at 10 a.m. on Saturdays, and then you and Janine did this show from 2 to, I guess it was 6. I don't know what it was.
This is like a series of bad acid flashbacks.
You would come in early, and we would chat a little bit, and then eventually, as the way it would evolve, is that you would come in earlier and earlier, talked about things, and it evolved from there. We did a Super Bowl of talk show hosts, and it was in... actually, March 2nd of 1996. And what happened was Mike McConnell came up to the show at like 10 o'clock, and eventually Bill Cunningham, who I think might have been the program director. So he was the boss at that time. He came up, and then you were there. And, of course, we had the band. Bill Steidel, rest his soul, and Paul Sketch. Paul Sketch was the drummer. Steidel had the guitar.
The bass.
Very talented musicians, and were great fun.
Both Juilliard graduates.
And they would come up unpaid every week and...
I guess for the glory of it.
Just do rim shots. And then bring us in and out of commercial breaks playing music. But they were fabulous.
And they'd punctuate our stories.
We couldn't pay them, but they did it for the fun of it. Make fun of each other, make fun of the world, make fun of the people we worked with.
There were some good times, I must admit.
The Super Bowl of talk show hosts was a life-changing moment for me. I haven't talked about it very much. I mean, literally changed my life. What happened that day, March 2nd of 1996. It was the stupidest thing I ever did.
Oh.
And I'm paying for it to this day.
To this moment.
To this moment, I am paying for it every day. You were giving me the usual abuse about losing weight. Cunningham was talking about running in a marathon that was going to be in Hawaii. And he said, why don't you join me on this?
He says this to you.
Yeah, start training now.
That's right.
And we'll go together, run in this marathon to raise money for a charity. What I should have done was lose about 30 pounds and then start running. But what I did, I pledged I would do it, as you'll hear on the recording here in a moment on our Backyard BBQ Reflux edition. I said, yes, I'll do it. And so I think it was the next day I started running, and I started with like 2 miles. Now, I've played in sports.
The first day you ran 2 miles.
Probably, I can look it up and find out, but it wasn't too long. I kept a log of this.
Oh, yes. Well, of course you would. Sure.
It was going pretty well. I mean, at first. Started to lose weight. Things were happening, but I started to feel this little pain down my left leg, the back of my left leg. And I figured it was a hamstring or something. And because I promised this on the air, there was no way I couldn't see this through, because the hell I would take. I remember going to the running shoe place, thought maybe there was a problem with the shoe and maybe we needed to balance out, put some sort of a cushion in there that would help.
Wrap a pillow around your foot.
Never occurred to me to stop and rest. I kept going, kept pushing it. 2, 3, 4, 5.
You were like Rocky.
You have that thought when you're going through it. And I was running. I would run on
Chariots
flat
of
surfaces.
Fire.
I think I got up to like 8 or 9 miles. And now remember, the marathon's 26 miles.
Right.
So I'm not even close to halfway on this thing.
Are you running through the pain?
Through it, and to the point where, and I'm still running while it's painful, and it got to the point that I was on the floor of the kitchen one night or one morning crying in pain. I've never felt that kind of pain in my life. I herniated a disc in my back, and that disc was pushing into the nerve and causing this phantom pain down your leg. This happens. I mean, people get back surgery all the time. Make a long story short at this point.
Phantom? What was phantom about it?
It's not really a leg pain that you're having. It's the disc pushing into the nerve, and it's telling the brain that there's a problem there, and it's reacting with pain. So I kept doing it, and finally it got so bad, as I said, and I needed surgery. So early March to June, I managed to blow out my back, had to get surgery, and from that point on, I can't walk long distances because there's still nerve damage and pain from this thing. So I've been limited in that regard. I mean, I still ran after that. I did other things. I've been able to exercise and do those things, but I've never been the same. In fact, I had to have a second back surgery because of that pledge and that promise I made. That was a life changer.
Well, I'm glad I was there to witness it.
On the Backyard BBQ Reflux, this is the Super Bowl of talk hosts from March 2nd of 1996.
Pull up a seat and sit on down. This is the Backyard BBQ on the Big One, 700 WLW.
On 700 WLW, welcome to the Super Bowl. Matt Reis, David Wecker is in here early today for a change. And the Reds game is canceled, so it looks like we've got the Super Bowl of talk show hosts until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Great to have the band back, the two-man garage band, complimented by
Mike Bobbitt.
Yes, on lead guitar. Well, that's your cue to go ahead and...
Yeah, go ahead and kind of give yourself a Philippe. There, that's it. He's kind of shy, but not with reason.
You know, yesterday was wonderful. We got to talk about that this morning with Dick Von Hain on Northern Kentucky Magazine.
I have never seen you looking smarter or sharper in your suit.
Yeah, I wore a suit, David.
The pants came barely past the ankles. Was the only problem. Everything else seemed to fit.
Believe me, the waist was there was a little bit.
You
of
let the
tension
waist
on
out a little. Maybe I think it was a good idea to pop the button before you went in and let the fly down a little bit.
Mark McConnell, welcome to the microphones of the Backyard BBQ.
Well, it's a dream come true. Marvelous to be here.
That's good. We aren't getting off. It's not taking the shape of a battle yet, though, and that's
No.
okay with me. It's kind of early, isn't it?
Every Saturday morning I get up and I say, if only I could be there. There I am, putzing around the garage, working on this and that, listening to the barbecue, saying, if only I could be a part of this. I've had the urge occasionally to go to the phone. Maybe jump in. A little give and take. But I generally make it a point to it's your show, it's your barbecue, you're cooking, it's your booze, it's your everything,
Mike
So
McConnell.
today I'm here.
Mike McConnell, ladies and gentlemen.
May occasionally take issue with a point or two that Matthew W. over there may make.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that
I
happened.
will say that Matt does most of the point making on this program.
He's the point man.
Yeah, he is.
He's the point man.
Now, a year ago, it was your objective to exorcise the liberal demons from me. Do you think that you accomplished such?
I'd say 80% of them, yeah.
So you've seen a change over
I've
the
seen
past
it.
year.
I think the world has.
Really?
I don't get near as many calls from people saying how much they hate you now. Last year,
I'll tell you what. You're
you
going to
were
take
the most
this.
hated man in talk radio.
You were going to take this as that I'm picking on you, but I'm not. I remember that day seeing little red imps with pitchforks running out of the studio, and it seems to me that you make your points more clearly now. Although you still don't let other people talk very much, you step all over other, but you make your points more clearly, and
You're not taking
you're
the
more
world
balanced.
as seriously as you used to.
That
That's a
too.
good sign. That's a
that's
good
really
sign.
true. It's really true. I don't get as upset about the issues as I used to, and maybe that was a cathartic experience.
It certainly. Well, that was
Give
the
me one of
intent.
those.
All right, I will.
Well,
What do you have,
certainly
a
the
budget for
intent.
that, or what?
So it was a
drink,
cathartic? See, because it seemed to... did that work out then for you?
Yeah, it did, ever since that day. So, yeah, I think I've mellowed a bit. You say 80%. There's still a little
little bit of it.
little bit
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. Issue by issue, you kind of come along, though. as time goes. Look at the stadium thing. I don't want to talk about that, though.
Well, we've got really two big issues. I thought we should talk about politics a little bit. We should talk about the stadium issue. I mean, there are two big
You
ones.
think
If it's
so?
already, well, it'll come
Let's talk
up.
about chicks and beer.
Well, we're missing both of those right now.
But it's
Yeah,
only
where's
10
Cunningham?
a.m.
Well, he's supposed to be here at 10:30. He said this was way too early. Andy Furman promised that he would be here today. Bill Wills indicated that he would stop in. The invitations were extended to Gary Burbank and Chris Collinsworth. I don't know
I'm
if
sure
they'll
they'll
be
be
able to show
here.
up. I saw Greg Cook walking around the hallway. So, the
Furman
celebrities
will turn
only.
around and go home because I'm in his parking space. That'll be his excuse. Somebody was in my parking space, so I went home.
What would you do if he let the air out of the tires, like Trumpy did to
I wouldn't take it sitting down like you did, like Doug Kidd did. Yeah, Trumpy took no flag. If you were in his parking space, whoa, baby. It's like our friend JFPO. He's been having conniptions lately.
Why?
He's got his own parking space on the 3rd floor, and every morning he comes in. The first week he had it, somebody was in it every day. Oh, he was throwing fits.
Would he do
Absolute
anything?
fits.
Would he take out any? Would he be irrespective of the
The
person's
first
property?
day it happened, he sat there, I'm not kidding, for almost 2 hours waiting for the culprit to show up. He was going to tear him a new one. He never did show. So each day he started just parking his car in front of his personal space. See, most of the reserve spaces here are on the 2nd floor. There are only 2 reserve spaces on the 3rd floor. One of them is for JFPO. And so people aren't used to having reserved spaces, so they just unknowingly would park there. And yeah, he started blocking him in. He'd park his car there all day. And the one day, if it happened one more day, we're going to send Yancey down there with a cell phone. But when JFPO, because he usually gets here about 10:30 in the morning. JFPO is on SAI. James Francis Patrick O'Neill.
yeah.
Who did mornings on this station way back before Burbank, who did mornings before Jim Scott. So he was here some time ago. Oh, yeah. Then he goes on the air and bitches about it. He did his own show. I've been in this business for 50 years, and this is the first time I ever had my own reserved parking space, and every day I come in here and someone's in my parking space.
Does it say JFPO
Yeah.
across?
Yeah, it does. So they started hanging up all sorts of. Now they have colored paper. They have like the hot pink color and the hot orange and the lime color. Just reserve JFPO, reserve JFPO, reserve JFPO. He hasn't had a problem the last couple of days.
See,
He thinks it worse than Trumpy.
Well, see, I
But
didn't.
he doesn't deflate the tires.
No.
But he see that was the thing for Trumpy. Trumpy would get it out. He would like ice pick the guy's tires or whatever method he used. And
He
then,
just did the
and then he
valve.
was over it. Yeah, he unscrew the valve.
Unscrew the
But I
valve.
guess JFP he just kind of bottles it up, keeps it inside.
No, the last day, supposedly, he was doing some screaming and shouting in the garage. I wasn't down there for
But
it.
he didn't have a sledgehammer or anything.
No. It
That would
was a
be
running
great.
gag for a good week.
That
For a
would be
good
great.
week.
For example, if Dave Martin had to, all of a sudden, or Randy Michaels had to, and he had a sledgehammer, that'd be something.
Well, it would place the onus on you in there because everybody would be watching. What's McConnell going to do to get back? So what would you do? I mean, with Trumpy, it's a physical intimidation. Even though if he assaulted you, you'd file charges if he was getting back at you. But I mean, what would you do? You let the air out. You got to do something
If
creative.
Trumpy let the air out of my tires, I got a spare car. I'll leave that car there for a week.
And that's how
Sorry,
I
Bob,
can't move it.
No air in the tires.
See, you could do that.
Oh, he
and
had to
get away
find
with
some
it.
place to park for a week. Oh, yeah, I'd leave that car
Yeah,
there.
then he has a toad.
In fact, if
then.
I didn't have a spare, I'd rent one for a week.
Okay, so he has
Just leave it there.
He has a toad then. What do you do after he tows it?
Well, he's got to put the air in the tire to tow it.
Yeah, well,
they can't
okay,
tow
they
it
do
on
that.
4 flats. Well, now I got my air back. I'm happy. Yes.
The Super Bowl of talk shows. David Wecker, Mike McConnell, soon Bill Cunningham, Andy Furman, and a host of others. Matt Reis. It is 10:16 at 700 WLW. And, well, we're going till 2 today because we have no Reds baseball, Dave.
They may call the game back on.
Rick Schmidt from Gold Star Chili is here with some coffee cake. And, it's a little early to be indulging on the chili. But bring in that coffee cake. Bring it in right now.
He
Okay,
came by and tucked me in last night.
We don't want to talk taxes today?
I don't care. It's your show.
Okay, well, let's just kind of, before Cunningham gets here and it gets real loud, let's toss it around a little bit.
Let's try to keep it on a higher plane for the moment.
Yeah, just for a second. Marge Schott's comments, and I've got them laying around here.
Right here. Right here.
I'm sick of that stadium thing. I have one question. Why do the Cincinnati Bengals need a stadium for 10 games a year It makes no sense.
Of course, she says she was misquoted.
I didn't see that she had
Yes,
said
she says
that.
it was a misquote. I don't know what the accurate quote was, but she says the Dayton Daily News misquoted her.
Who is that? Is that Hal?
Hal McCoy. I'm not sure if he's the one got the quote. In Plant City, chances are it was.
He's usually pretty accurate, and on something like this,
I don't know. It seems to me that the half dozen times in the past few years when they've had that kind of a scoop, it turned out that there was some inaccuracy involved, or at least it was called into question, doesn't it to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does to me.
Well, Hal McCoy, of course, he's Irish and Catholic. You know what they're like.
Liars!
So make your bet. Do you think it's going to pass?
I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of no signs all over the place. I don't know if the yeses were slower to get their literature out there. I heard you talking about that, last week or the week before. But I see more no signs around right now than I do yes signs.
Yeah, but on TV, don't you see a lot of? Seems like there's a lot of pro advertising.
Yeah, well, they have a lot more money.
Yeah, right.
I'm in favor of it for this reason. I pay a boatload of taxes, especially to the city. I don't live in the county, but they take my money for the city anyway.
Right.
They've been taking it for many years. I lived in Sharonville. They took my property taxes for many years, for which I see virtually no return. My tax dollars go for such things. Well, the only thing I get of my tax dollars is they might plow a county road so I can get to work. Past that, I get nothing for my tax money. I really don't. So, I would like a little something for me. And with the number of people I know in this town, the connections I have, I'll bet I could sit in a luxury box for virtually every game. So I think people ought to build that stadium with lots of luxury boxes so people I know could invite me to watch a game in total comfort. So at long last, I get some return on my tax dollars.
It's 10:19. This is the Backyard BBQ on 700 WLW.
For the most dependable weather, tune to your official weather station, 700 WLW.
Barbie here, and this is the hottest spot in town, the Backyard BBQ on 700 WLW.
Radar forecast says a mix of clouds, sunshine this morning, and then mostly cloudy with scattered flurries by afternoon and high 40s.
I can't hear you. Can you hear better now? Here's a Q-tip.
There we go. A high of 40 today, a low 10, and tomorrow, sunny in the morning and then clouds in the afternoon, and 35. It's 37 now at your official weather station. The Backyard BBQ Celebrity Cocktails. Today, Mike McConnell. Soon, Bill Cunningham, maybe Andy Furman, and some of the other boys here. The big one, the Super Bowl of talk shows.
That's huge.
It's good to have you up. This is a busy weekend for you because not only are you on the Backyard BBQ, but tomorrow we're going to be watching you on Channel 12.
Won't that be a thrill?
Doing what?
Well, it'd be the Easter Seals Telethon.
Oh, I see. Are you the MC of it?
No, I get the all-important job of interviewing people working the phones. At least in the past, that's been my duty.
Are you getting any calls?
Yeah, is the phone ringing?
Hey, the band could come up and help out.
I think that'd be a dandy idea.
Do you get nervous when you're on TV?
No, not as long as I have something to do.
When you got to chat.
When I have nothing to do, it's like interviewing people on the phone, thanks.
But yesterday we're on with the cable show Northern Kentucky Magazine. I was kind of uncomfortable in there. It was the lights are on you, and I sweat a lot, and
it was rolling off you yesterday, I must say. But I think you should have dressed down. The suit was nice, and I was so flattered that you wore that nice tie. I got you. But you're not used to doing TV like I am, I guess.
You know what makes me nervous? Small audiences. Big audiences don't bother me at all. Small, more intimate groups. Like a classroom. I don't like talking in front of a classroom. I'd rather have a coliseum than a classroom.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
It's eye contact. If you're in a coliseum, they're faceless masses.
Yeah, it's the more impersonal, the better.
I'm thinking about Ira Joe Fisher in the last days of his show here, where they would bring staffers down to put in the audience, and the camera lens, the frame got smaller and tighter and tighter. And you came to recognize the same faces week after day. But yeah, I think I can understand
The Jerry Springer show got that way before he moved to Chicago.
Yeah.
Remember all those ads they ran trying to get a studio audience down there? Get a sitter. Gonna go see Jerry. Remember that every day.
And he was talking about all the serious topics they were going to do as well. But he's making a lot of loot.
What's more important?
probably your pride, your integrity, your self-esteem, and he's completely sold out.
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't either. I couldn't look at my
Okay,
kids. I couldn't look at my.
Let's say for $2 million.
No, I wouldn't do that for $2
Good.
million.
All right, I believe you. I wouldn't either.
Would you do it? You'd do it.
Yes,
oh,
in
absolutely.
a second. No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
And I'm not suggesting anything by that, but well, yes, I am. But no, I guess what I'm saying is
For
$2
$2 million, I'm doing nicely now. I don't need $2 million that badly. Neither do you. So don't.
From what I
know you've got
understand,
some-
he's doing better than that, too.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
Well, he was driving a Rolls, a
Bentley.
Bentley, actually. That's right. When he was here in town, he went from a Nissan Maxima. I saw him on 71 one morning in the late '80s, and then the next year he had a Jag, and then before he left town, he's driving that Bentley.
Would you do what Cunningham does
No, he's a pig.
for that kind of money?
Willie! I saw him in the other room.
He's here. Cunningham is here.
He's
The
here.
voice
Just
of the
won't come in. He's
common
being
man.
antisocial.
He must not have children to do what he does on his program.
He's got a grown son, I think.
Oh, he's grown. All right.
Yeah, well, that makes a difference.
He might be a mess. We don't know.
No, I'm sure he's a perfectly well-adjusted child.
Well, where is he? Is he coming in?
I saw him hanging out with Chuck.
He's probably
over there.
tying off and shooting up.
Oh, we've got news to do here in just a minute, so we don't have a whole lot of time. But when we get back,
You know, I don't want to start things off on a bad footing here, but I got a call from Richard Brown at the Masonette. He said he don't do anything with Gold Star chili. He said they don't do Chateaubriand for brunch. So I'm sorry, no Masonette, but I got Brittany and Sydney coming at 11:30 to put their generous mammary glands on either side of your ears. It's going to be unbelievable.
and why is that? Because today, David Wecker is 60 years old.
He looks more like
Thank
70
you.
to me.
Thank you, and I'm very touched. And to have my friends convene together
You'll
like
be
this.
touched by Sydney and by Brittany, too. It'll be unbelievable. There'll be nothing left in the studio but a grin on their generous faces.
Well, I'm delighted.
All right, it's 10:30. We've got news to
Tie
do.
one off. What was that comment about drugs?
I'm beginning to regret it. I thought you were outside the building.
No, I wasn't.
I thought you were
I don't
here.
know what the hell that means, though.
Well, good. I'm glad you know.
I'll ask Matt off the air. He'll know.
All right.
On 700 WLW. Celebrity Cocktails. Matt Reis, David Wecker, Bill Cunningham, and Mike McConnell. I hope Andy Furman shows up and some of the other boys. This is a Super Bowl
Matt,
of
I
talk shows.
can't hear you. This is like being next to the pep band at a UC game if you're the Louisville coach.
I can't think.
That's the first
I'll
time
say
I've heard a
they're pretty good.
discernible number on
They
this
are good.
band.
Can they play feelings?
Anything you want.
Whoa,
They're taking
whoa, whoa.
requests.
Nothing more than feelings.
Can you guys do that so Bill sings
You know what, Mike?
Don't have it.
You know, I want to ask you a question. Not bad. Matt, I don't want to get personal here, of course, or get into tough areas, but I have a sense that you tape record everything I do, keep a log on all my public comments, my great speeches, then you reach into your bag of tricks and knock me over the head with them whenever I stray just an inch or two from the straight and narrow path of righteousness. Now, I would never do that to you. Can you tell me why you do that to me?
I was thinking about writing a book on talk radio, and I think it would be worth the time taking all of your tapes from a year
No!
and just comparing them, analyzing them, and showing how terribly inconsistent you really are.
In one area, be specific.
Oh, name
Just
it.
pick one out.
Just name it. All right. Let's talk about the stadium tax for a second.
Our sales taxes are going up. Our sales taxes are going up. Our sales taxes are going up.
Did I say it was bad they're going up?
No, you were simply making an observation.
It was in the
Our
context.
sales taxes are going up. Our sales taxes are going up. Our sales taxes are going up.
That, well, I
Our
might have
sales
said
taxes
that,
are
but
going up.
it took me completely out of context.
Bill, I have a video at home.
Video
from
too.
The
A
taxed
dossier on
enough
you this
already.
thick.
Yeah.
Of me and Marge on her couch.
having a snifter of brandy.
Did I ever tell you that day? Oh, that was unbelievable.
about
No,
it.
I can't.
No, just between me and
Dave
you.
Martin, the contract was up, Matt, and Mike and David. I feel bad about what I did, but I was told to do it. I was nothing more than some cheap slut, some whore.
You felt like an Eichmann.
I had to go and do my duty, as Dave Martin gave me the light to see that duty, and it was a quiet, romantic interlude on a couch at that Indian Hill estate with brandy in the hand. And if it wasn't for that, the Reds wouldn't be here now. In fact, they're not here now. They're off this afternoon.
Taking one for the team.
I took a high, hard one.
When does the show start?
What is the topic?
Where's the
Mike and I are
content?
prepared.
There's no content.
Mike
There's
and
no
I are
content.
professional talk show hosts. We go in with an agenda, 2 hours of show prep, every 1 hour on the air. You two sit here with your pants around your ankles.
Your show, we've got spots during this hour, all right?
We got spots, and we're entertainers. Is that what we are?
On 700 WLW.
The battle rages on, and you're hearing it live on the big one, 700 WLW.
10:43 on the barbecue, and it's a very special edition of the barbecue. I don't want to draw any attention necessarily undue to my birthday, which I guess has been inflated way out of proportion. But really what it is, and what the occasion is the Super Bowl of talk show hosts, and for that I'm merely an announcer. It's Bill Cunningham, Mike McConnell, and Matt Reis, as well as the sweet, sweet sounds of the Garage Band, today featuring Mike Bobbitt on lead guitar.
I have a stadium sales tax question for Willie. As you know, when these stadiums are built, it's going to be all important that we sell out these luxury suites.
Yes.
Will the entity known as Willie's commit right now, since you are a staunch supporter of this tax, do you commit at this point to purchase luxury suites in both the football and baseball stadiums when finally constructed?
Oh, that'd be great.
Ooh, yeah.
Willie? Willie?
Will the entity known as Off Mike similarly
Answer the question.
No, I will not.
Why not?
Because it's too damn much money.
How much are they?
I don't know.
You have a location right here by the river, Western Hills, Westchester, Kenwood. You got any more I don't know about?
No.
All right. So out of those 4 restaurants, as wildly popular as those wings are, wings out the door, you're saying you don't pull in enough jack to put yourself down for one little luxury box.
Mikey boy, I need to know what it's going to cost up front before I make any financial commitments. That's part of the American dream.
Don't the taxpayers expect the very same thing, Mr. Cunningham?
No. Let me tell you what.
Explain
They go
yourself.
for like $100,000 typically. I think.
$100,000? Absolutely not. Then I thought 20 or 30. I might do it. Let me tell you the difference, Matt. Because you, as a socialist, turning his way toward conservatism.
Listen how he makes it personal. Mike asks him a good question, he doesn't answer it, and he turns it back on me.
And attack the person who asked the question.
Right? He doesn't even attack McConnell because he knows McConnell will tear him apart.
Oh, Matt, all I can say to you is this. It is in our interest these damn stadiums be built, especially Willie. It's in our interest.
All right, Mike,
Sure
go
it
ahead.
is.
Are you going to stand for that from me? That was you
are
have to answer the
I'm
question.
not answering that question. You're
Why
the
not?
one who implemented. You're the one who instigated. You're the one who began by saying, and I heard many a caller rip you and David Wacker on Sunday morning. But I'm telling you now,
speaking.
Matt, after listening to Mikey Boy and I, you have now switched to the path of righteousness and truth. Mike and I are the way, the truth, and the light. And you two have now come on board. And now in each of your front yards, I am told, there's a vote yes on the Major League Future sign. Is that correct, Matt and David?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. I live in northern Kentucky, and I purchase all my goods through the catalog at LLB.
Matt, didn't you say last week, bring a sign, put it in my yard? And aren't you the same guy who was trumpeting the evils of the stadium tax plan a month ago? Answer the question, Matt.
When you're ready to answer the question that Mike
I
asked
said no.
Okay.
Now, did you say
I want you
months
to
ago?
answer my question.
Did
Now, when
you say you would vote no?
I will
and
answer
did
that.
you last week say, put a damn sign in my front yard, yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. There we go.
Now I'm
You have
asking
been
you this.
destroyed. You are now shown for the fraud that you were. You're bought and paid for. You're a lowly slut, not worthy of the backyard Barbie.
Okay, now since I answered that question, you have to answer the question. Why is it that the taxpayers should support this if you are unwilling to put your own money up as as the poster boy for the Cincinnati Business Committee? Why you aren't willing to pledge some of your own booty to this?
Two answers. Number one, who on Ron Roberts, the odious one, on whose show did he feel most comfortable of the CBC coming? The name, please?
The Backyard Barbecue.
Thank you very much. So mine paid for should be under the title of the Backyard Barbecue.
He was looking
No,
for
no
fairness.
money.
Now, wait a minute. Are you
money
gonna let him get
exchanged
away with that?
hands. No money exchanged hands. He was up here as a favor to us.
Because he felt comfortable.
Unlike you, I face the opposition. I've been down at the Issue 1 headquarters. I've shaken hands with Bob Bettinghouse, with Jeff Birding. I have met all of those people. I was at their fundraiser last week doing a story. I know I face them. You have been unable to get a hand free to dial the phone to call Tim Mara to invite him up to the show. You haven't had him in the studio one-on-one at all. I've had them all up here. On whose payroll?
Whose payroll is who?
You. Who's
700
paying you off?
WLW,
And
Bill
who
Wills,
else?
Dave Martin, Randy Michaels, Sam Zell, Carl Linder. Those are my friends. As you run around with the muck and the mire, we understand the nattering nabobs. We've heard from the degenerates and the failures and the losers. It's time successful Americans arise. That's why I'm here.
Is there an answer in there somewhere? I missed it.
Didn't pick it up.
What was the question?
Let's go back. Mike, were you satisfied with his answer? Analyze
the
his
answer to my question was no.
Analyze it. Why is there an inconsistency in what he preaches and what he does?
There's an inconsistency in every sentence. Absolutely every sentence. What he just said made no sense.
So is it possible that he's actually hurting the cause?
But he did
more
say
than
something.
helping?
You
You
have
think
to
that's
understand.
possible?
Wait a
You
minute,
think
he did
after
say
a while
something.
it would sink in because I've heard that same speech so many times. I've heard it at anti-tax rallies.
Pro-tax rallies.
I heard it at pro-tax rallies.
Whatever.
I've heard it at save the Browns rallies in Cleveland. It's the same speech.
But it's
over and over
delivered with
again.
an incredible passion.
It's the stump speech.
No, he didn't bring in the Battle of the Bulge. That's it. Bring
It's
the
there.
Battle of the Bulge
I'm
into
finding it now with Olga at noon. I have a personal trainer. I'm getting ready for the Hawaiian Marathon. The bulge will be gone because of Olga.
Let me ask you a question about that.
Is that the Iron Man thing?
No, it's the Hawaiian Marathon. I'm running it in December. I'm getting in shape now. I don't want to look like Matt in a few years.
Now, would you be willing to help out that particular charity if it didn't mean a free trip to Hawaii?
Probably not. Probably not.
Well, that's
Explain
fair.
that a
I
little
would do
bit.
the same.
Explain. Let me ask you a question.
no,
Would you please explain
Jump,
that?
I got to step in here and say, no, you're having a little bit. He was good enough to go to Bermuda and not run
Yeah.
in the last marathon.
That's correct.
But he did go to Bermuda.
I did go because they wanted a speech the night before, and they got a speech.
And
Did they mention
got
the Battle of the Bulge that
The
time,
Battle
too?
of the Bulge, the
Absolutely.
Battle of Antietam came out, Gettysburg, it was all there.
Shiloh.
And
Antioch.
because of Antioch, because of Antietam, you mean, because of that, 87 runners from Cincinnati finished the race. How about that? I was the fuel, I was the fumes, I was the air
You were the fumes.
He was the amphetamine.
beneath their wings.
Did you pay to go to Bermuda?
I can't comment on that.
Now, if you were really interested in helping these charities,
Well,
why
I
not
could,
pay
but
for
I
your own
won't.
airfare? I mean, then they could save the money and give it to the children instead of having to pay your airfare, your hotels, your meals.
That's
The poor little children.
That's a
That's
good
right.
point.
Okay, then.
But I'm not going to do it. But that is a good
The
point.
least you could do is get a couple of luxury boxes and take the kids to a ball game from time
I'll
to
tell you
time.
what I'll do. One of the four of us divide it up. Make a commitment now that the four of us will put up 25% of the cost. We will buy a luxury box in each stadium. David Wacker, do I
I'm
have your-
good. I'm good
Mike
for it.
McConnell, off
My
mic.
portion is going to come from each one of my restaurants, yes.
Off mic. Matt Reis, how about your
I can't even
portions?
afford a ticket.
Ticket. I'll put my 25% in when you three nattering nabobs put in your 25%. Now what do you say, big boy?
Let's go
Again,
down
he
to the
took me
bank.
off the topic, but now since you're going to Hawaii, you've indicated that you are going to pay the airfare. You're going to pay the $1,000 that it's going to take to go and run in this marathon.
No.
You've indicated that.
This is how it works.
Even though you see that there's an inherent inconsistency in what you're
Correct.
doing, you're still going to go ahead and pledge.
I will raise personally myself $5,000. Either myself will write the check or I will raise it through friends and family members.
All right, then you give them
In fact,
$6,000.
why don't you make a commitment with me to run the marathon in December?
I'll
In fact,
pay
I'll
money
cover,
to go.
I'll cover your end. I'll raise the money for you to go to Hawaii if you run 26.2 miles.
When is it?
December 15th of this year. Will Matt Reis run the marathon? And if you don't...
Hey, wait a minute. I'll go if you don't.
And
That
if
sounds
you
all
don't
right.
complete the race, you will reimburse me for the money I raised for you.
22 miles?
26.2.
I'll die.
My point. If you don't complete the race, you give me the money that I raised for you, but you can't stop. You must run the entire race.
No.
Well,
you
wait,
walked
wait,
the New York
That's
Marathon.
my point.
You
No,
walked it.
Don't you come on these
I ran
airwaves.
13 miles and walked the last 13.
Thank you.
Because
after
I
that,
died.
I could still walk it, though. If
Yeah,
you
you
have
walk.
to
You
run at
finish it.
least
You can
half
crawl
the
it.
race. You
And
must
afterwards,
run half.
your favorite
Will
food
you
will
run
be
half the
glucose.
race, then walk the other half? Will you do it? You have to run without stopping 13.1 miles.
Life is one challenge after another.
Do it, Matt. Put your damn money where your fat belly is. Get rid of that gut. Get off the Backyard Barbie. Get Olga as your personal trainer, as I have. Get the Star Trek from PS Fitness. Get the home gym from PS Fitness. Get the TV set from Steinberg's. Get it all. And then let's see you run the race with me. Put your money where your mouth is. Do you do it, Matt? Or will you sit there and curse from the sidelines, the doer of deeds, the great warriors running down the field of life? Will you simply sit in the stands, swilling down your ugly beer and eating your buttered popcorn? Will you get on the track with me and do the race?
let me think about it during the news.
Yes. I thought you'd try to get out of that squirmy, wormy way.
You didn't answer the question.
Did you answer
This
my
time
I'll
question?
answer it the
Didn't
same way
answer the
he
question.
answers the
Answer my question.
I said, let me think about it during
It's
the
a
news.
free trip to Hawaii.
Yeah, but I want to
And
think
I'll
about
raise
it.
the
in
money
shape,
for
you lose the weight,
I'll
and you
raise the
pays.
money. But if you don't run without stopping 13.1, you can walk the last half. You will pay me directly the cash, which is about $5,000.
I say you can run one, walk one, run one, walk one.
All right, I'll go along with
It's
that.
a win-win.
You will be monitored. You must run a mile, walk a mile, run a mile, walk a mile for the whole thing. It'll take about 6 hours.
I'll do it.
Whoa! Oh, well, I'll be your
tape.
trainer.
Mark the tape.
Mark the tape.
Mark the tape. I'm going to raise you the money, and if you don't do it, if you break down for any reason, you will give me $5,000 in cash.
Hold on. You want to see an attorney before you say anything right
He
now.
said he'll do it. I got him. I got him hooked in.
No,
$5,000.
you added a caveat to it.
No, you got
I'm
to pay
doing
me
it
the money. I'll raise you the money, but if you don't do it, Matt Reis, personally, your wife and your children will sign the agreement that pay, if you die,
Oh,
your
God, I'm
estate.
gonna own $5
Your
grand.
estate. I want the money. I want the money. I want the money if you don't do it. Put your money where your mouth is, you liberal pig.
All right. Free trip to Hawaii. And
And you get
You get in
you lose
shape.
weight.
for it,
You
and
live
that's
an
it.
extra 10 or 20 years. You do what I've been begging you to do
What
for
time
a year
of the month
now.
is it? Is it the beginning?
It's
the end?
Sunday, December 14th or 15th, whatever that Sunday is. They
This
fly
could
you there
be
on Friday.
a
You can
turning
have
I'm
money.
there.
Bill Cunningham could be doing you the world's greatest favor right now.
I am there. As long as it's not costing me anything to go.
I will draw. You have to pay your incidentals, but the airfare in the room is part of the deal.
You have
Airfare
to
in
buy
the
your own magazines.
And I will have the contracts drawn up and submitted to you, and I want your estate to sign it. I want your wife and your children. When they sign it, the deal is you'll pay me back the money if you don't get it done.
Now, what are you going to give me?
You get a free trip to Hawaii.
Well, I could get that through the organization.
No. But then you got to raise the money yourself. I'll be your
He'll
fund-
raise
I
your
want
money.
a piece of your flesh if I'm going to do this. All right, you got it.
Well,
See,
you
Major,
pay-
I'm
you
gonna
got
draw
it.
the
That's a good
contract.
idea. I want to do
You'll
it.
get
Yeah,
in shape.
you
It's
can
a
do
great
it.
deal. I'll be your fundraiser. You don't have to raise any money. I'll raise your money. But if you don't do it, Matt Reis personally and/or his estate will pay me the money that I raise.
Chariots of Fire. Let's rent it tonight and watch Chariots of Fire. That's what we need to do.
You'll
We're gonna
be
get you some
prepared.
carrot
Rocky.
sticks.
I'm going to rent it tonight.
Rocky, you have 9 months. You better get up.
Oh, I can do that.
You have to start. When I started running 2.5 years ago, I couldn't run a mile without stopping. At the end, I was running like 16 miles without stopping. And that's all it takes is about 6 months. And you have 9 months. Matt, you can do it if you
A
got the
personal
guts.
challenge.
If you live out the creed of your life and quit standing on the sidelines and get involved in the field, you can get the deal done for leukemia.
All right, I said I'd do it.
But I know nothing. It's going to be in writing, and you will sign it here on the Backyard Barbie next Saturday.
First thing we do is we give up the martinis, the pitcher of martinis after the show.
But Wacker?
Mike, your thoughts.
I think you ought to do it.
David, your thoughts.
I once ran 20 miles.
I think it's great. And
Wait
Wait a minute, I want Mike to
how
go
about
along.
the 4 of us doing it?
Let's all do it.
I would love
Mike,
to.
will you do it?
I don't like Hawaii. Actually, seriously, I'll tell you what. I would, but I think running is the most boring
It is boring.
activity I could possibly engage in.
It's true.
Once in
I
a
mean, I ran
lifetime
cross
trip,
country in high school, and I did run 20 miles.
You did?
It is dull. It's boring.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, there's no such thing as this runner's high. This
Do it
alleged
for the
runner-
kids, Mike. Do it for the kids.
It's too boring.
I'll raise the money for all of you.
I'll pledge for both of you.
All right, David, are you going to do it?
I want to think about it over the news, but I'm inclined to say yes.
Next Saturday, I will have contracts drawn up with each of your names on them. We'll meet back here, say at 11:30, maybe with Brittany and Sydney again. Keep it going. What do you think?
Oh, the show probably will still be going. Yeah, it'll keep
It'll be going,
Yeah.
and I'll have the contracts drawn, and I'll raise the money for all of you. But if it's not done, each of you must pay me $5,000 in cash.
Well, look at me. I'm not doing it.
You might.
Running
already
is
said
boring.
Well, it's
Boring,
a great
dull.
way
Chuck
to.
Ingram says he'll take my place.
Now, this is the only way I'm going to get to Hawaii, so
And
I've
it's
got
You
to.
know,
great
I've been
trip.
wanting to tour that Dole Pineapple Plant for years. I hear that place is great.
You will never in your life feel better than after you complete that race. The 100 people, the camaraderie, male and female, young and old, black and white. Even some Democrats are there. People that are ready to live out their own
I like
creed
this.
are there, and you will never feel better in your life.
Yeah, but I've read stories in these runners' magazines about these marathon runners losing control of their bowels in mid-stride.
It
I don't
happened
want
to me in New York. Seriously. I look like the fountain of youth coming over the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. I was leaking.
But you kept going.
No, I
Nothing-
stopped.
Oh, did
I
you?
stopped.
Do you get to meet King Kamanawanalea?
Can't come on all the way up.
Kamanawanalea.
That happened at 11:30, I think.
It was an incontinental trip.
It's incontinence.
All right, it's 11 o'clock.
Look at this right here. Blue Chip Express for Matt Reis is putting up $100.
Already?
Already, people are making the bet you can't do it. And then you'll pay them back.
I will do it.
You will
I'll
do
put-
it.
I will do it. You
You
put
will.
that challenge in
Put me
front of
down
me, and I
for
will.
$100. See, we can raise the money easy.
Oh, we'll do it. You got
But
it.
if you don't, Matt, I will be there. I'm running it. In fact, I'll do it with you and make sure you do it. And then if you don't do it, your life will be miserable and you'll be a rotten, decrepit, disgusting, vile human being when I get done with you.
All right,
you
we
will be
gotta-
a loser.
All right, we got to do the news. It's 11 o'clock at the home of the UC Bearcats. This is the Super Bowl of talk shows, catered by
What
Gold
about
Star
Brittany
Chili.
and Sydney? They're coming
I don't know,
now.
but this is a family show.
And Dave will be
You
coming
bring your-
later.
I don't know a
Filth
thing
into
about them.
Don't you bring that filth into
Our
this
children
house.
are listening. This is our house.